Mr. Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion. That aware that period poverty refers to the common challenge plaguing women globally, wherein they are unable to attend schools or work as a cause of lack of funds for sanitary products, that is both a health risk and a signal of gender inequity. Further aware that in rural Kenya, 2 out of 3 pad users receive pads.
Senator Gloria be heard in silence, please.
Kindly. Further, in rural Kenya, 2 out of 3 pad users receive pads from sexual partners, and 65% of women and girls can't afford sanitary pads, forcing them to use alternative materials like grass, cotton wool, and cloth, which lack adequate absorbent qualities, resulting in frequent leakage and hygiene issues. Concerned that period poverty, also referred to as the shadow pandemic, contributes to global and regional gender inequity, as women are forced to solicit help from men in order to satisfy a basic health need, with 10% of 15-year-old girls having sex to pay for sanitary products. Further concerned that data from the Ministry of Education indicates that a girl that is absent from school for 4 days a month loses 13 learning days, equivalent to 2 weeks of learning in every school term, translating to 39 learning days or 6 weeks of learning time in a term, and up to 18 of 108 weeks in primary and 24 weeks of 144 weeks in learning in secondary school. Noting that while the government, through the State Department for Gender Affairs, was charged with the responsibility of procuring and distributing sanitary towels for 3.7 million girls in public primary schools, special primary and secondary schools in the country at a cost of 470 million during the 2017-2018 financial year, which amount needs to be increased in order to fully address and mitigate the problem. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that the Ministry of Public Service, Gender and Affirmative Action, in partnership with the Ministry of Education and the Council of Governors, to 1. Facilitate provision of feminine hygiene products in all public schools. 2. Ensure that all schools that don't have bathrooms that facilitate privacy, cleanliness, or proper disposal of hygiene products as properly equipped. 3. Create awareness and take advocacy measures on reproductive health issues related to period poverty. 4. Include in the curriculum a dedicated lesson per week to teach girls on menstrual hygiene. And 5, ensure that sanitary products will be obtainable, timely, consistently, and in a way that respects the dignity of the concerned persons. Thank you.
Senator Mohamed Chute.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Incessant high electricity cost in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, that aware that energy is an essential factor of production and its total consumption is a major determinant of performance of the economy, with cost and reliability spurring or stifling economic growth. Further aware that there has been a significant growth in the demand for electricity in Kenya, driven by the economic growth and increased efforts towards rural electrification, while the supply has been constrained due to, among other factors, the over-reliance of, on hydroelectric power generating plants that have been negatively impacted by perennial drought experienced in the country. noting that the imbalance in the demand and supply of power coupled with payments by the Kenya Power and Lighting Company for produced power not consumed and fluctuating in the foreign exchange rates contributes to the high cost of electricity. Appreciating that Kenya has made strides in diversifying its power sources with geothermal plants, offering tremendous potential for zero carbon source of power, already producing nearly 1 gigawatts of power. Concerned that private power generating companies, popularly referred to as independent power producers, only supply 28% of power to Kenya Power, but account for 47% of power purchase cost, calling for the need to enhance energy management in Kenya. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that A, Standing Committee on Energy to undertake an inquiry into 1, contracts signed by IPPs detailing the cost, capacity, and duration of the contractual agreements and the implications on affordability of electricity in the country. 2, discrepancy in the cost